Okay, so as we go through this whole four sequence. First one is fetch the instruction. To fetch the instruction from main memory, these are the sequence of steps you can see. First one is PC out, MAR in, and read. So we need to look at this. We will go through this diagram. We already know there are various registers in this one. PC, MAR, MDR. These are all registers. In addition, we have Y is register, Z is another register, temp is another register, and R0, R to the Rn-1, Rn-1. These are the general purpose registers, and this is an instruction decoder and control logic, and IR is also instruction register is also this another register. Okay, and this is a multiplexer which selects out of these two the constant 4 or maybe the input from Y. Any of these two it selects and gives output to A. Okay. Another way you can see from the single bus. Single bus, whatever data on single bus, it flows to B as an input, and on A and B, the ALU can do addition and subtraction. This is the scenario we already seen. And this will generate the control signals to coordinate all these registers, ALU and so on. And remember, when address is in PC, generally it is loaded into IR. That same address is loaded into IR, right? So you can see, so in this, I already said like every register may have some control signals to control it, like one is in signal and out signal. So PC has in signal and out signal. When you say out signal has, if it is set to 1, then data flows from PC. When we set in signal of PC to 1, then data flows into PC. So in means input, PC takes input. When out signal is set to 1, data flows outside, that is from the PC to outside it flows, and it flows to this single bus, and maybe from here it may flow to a memory address register. Okay, so this is the same scenario happens here when I set PC out. So you can see whatever contents we have in PC that comes out from the PC, and you can see MAR input signal of MAR register is set to 1. So obviously whatever flows from PC out, whatever flows outside from the PC, it gets into the MAR in. So you can see PC out. So data flows out to the single bus, and where it goes immediately MAR in. MAR input signal is set to 1. So this accepts the data from PC here. So what exactly flows from PC? PC generally contains address of instruction which need to be executed in the next. So that address will flow when you say PC out, and when I say MAR in, that address get into MAR register. Okay, and this next signal is, and one more thing, the data flows from PC out, from PC to MAR register, memory address register. And also another copy from PC flows to B also. The same copy flows to B also. So remember, from PC a copy of address flows to MAR, and also the same copy PC it flows to B also. And B, see, don't have any signal, so directly it takes the input. It don't have in or out signal. So that's why data on this bus directly gets into B also. So that's why I kept from PC a copy flows to B, and also the same copy flows to MAR register also, because its input signal is on, right? Next is a read signal. So when you say read signal, what happens? A signal is sent to the memory from via memory bus to the main memory. The signal is sent to the main memory. So when you say read, our processor want to read data from main memory, or we can say private memory, or we can say RAM. So when we say read, the read will send a signal to the main memory, and it want to read the data. From where it want to read the data in the main memory, from which location? That address is specified by the address in this one. It is same. The address in this one or this one is same, because the data copied from here to here. So this address specifies from where data need to be read from main memory, right? So one important thing is, when you say read, it takes some time to read the data. So when it completes the read, when the reading from the main memory completes is, it is indicated by this signal WMFC. So memory function complete. Memory function complete. So this signal will indicate that reading is completed. So when this signal is set to it's on, it said like the reading from main memory is completed. So till then, instead of processor being idle, it does this work. What it does in this with these statements in the square box, it will be incrementing the address in PC so that it can fetch next instruction. So you can see select 4. So in the multiplexer, you can see select. It will select the constant 4 and it will given as an input to the A. Next add. So it need to add A and B. But what is in B? In B we already have the PC out. Whatever PC out we got into B. So that B is added to constant 4 in A. That is added. So that is in B contains the address of previous instruction plus 4. We will get the address of next instruction. Okay, that will be given as a input to the Z. So Z in signal is on set to 1. So obviously the address plus 4, the new address of the next instruction will be given as input to the Z in, and the same is given to the output Z out. So when we say Z out signal is set to 1, the result flows to this single memory bus, flows to this here. Now the new address is here. Then who will accept the address? PC in. So in signal of PC is set to 1. So obviously data flows from here to the PC program counter. So next instruction address is now it is in PC. Okay. When we say Y in, the same address flows to Y also, because in signal of Y also set to 1. So you remember the output of Z out. You can see Z out flows to PC because it is PC in, and also it flows to Y in. Flows to Y also because it's Y in. Z out, PC in, and Y in. Okay, right. So when this says WMFC says, yeah, read signal is completed. So data is read. Whatever data read from main memory, where it is stored in MDR. So whatever data read, that is stored in MDR, this one, memory data register. So whatever data read with the read signal, that data from main memory transfers to MDR, memory data register by default. Okay. Now we will take output from MDR now. So how we will take MDR out? By making out signal set to 1, we will take data from MDR. It gets, when we say MDR out, data will now available on this single bus. Now where it flows? IR in. Now it flows to IR register, instruction register. IR in. So this you can see what we done in these steps. Just we had taken address from here to here. Next we issued a read signal to get the address from main memory. But meanwhile it takes some time to read from main memory. Instead of processor being idle, what processor will do is it increments the PC address plus 4 so that it gets the instruction of next instruction. It gets the address of next instruction, and same address it copies in Y also. And after completing the read signal here, the read data from memory is copied into MDR out. It is copied into MDR, and it is taken out from the MDR and it is copied into instruction register also. So instruction are available in the instruction register. So you can see the data flown from PC to instruction register. From PC it is copied into instruction register. So in previous units we had discussed like just it flows from PC to IR, but we don't know how the scenario will be. So here you can see the complete scenario how it flows while it is flowing from PC to IR. So this we say instruction fetch. Instruction fetch means we access the address in PC to IR. Next, when we say R3 out, so this is the steps when we take the these are the 3 steps we follow: step 2, step 3, step 4. In step 2, we fetch the operand. So this is the operand, first operand we will fetch. Next we do the addition of this one to this one, and we store the result in R. So these are the steps for this one. So first we will fetch this value. What is this value in R3? So when we take the value of R3, it doesn't contain direct value, it contains address. From that address we need to take the value. So that's why we say first we say R3 out. So from R3 we get the address. So that address will copy in MAR in memory address register. Right. Next we will give a read signal saying that read the data which is referred in memory location at the address specified by MAR. Address located in MAR. So similarly we will take R1 out, the value in R1. So in R1 we have the value. So we will take that value, maybe 10, we will store in Y register. It accepts because in signal set to 1. Next is this read completes when this is indicated. So the read completes here. Meanwhile, we will read from R1 to Y. And whatever data read, we are by default it is stored in MDR only, MDR register only. From MDR, we will take that value and you can see select Y. So you can see out of constant 4 and Y, it will select Y. So in Y, what we have in Y? We have R1 out. So R1 value we have in Y. So when we say select Y, the R1 value actually, the value in R1 actually it is copied in Y. That value is flows to A. Okay, and yeah, and the next is this and A need to A. So what we have R1 value here. This need to be added to the B. So in B what we have? In B we have is R3 value. So R3 value in this one, R1 value in this one. When we say add, R1 and R3 values both will be added close to Z in. Okay. Right. So we have an end result in Z in. And next we will do is Z out. The result comes out of this bus, and when we say R1 in, it flows to R1 register here and end. Okay, right. And one important thing is when we say MDR out, the same copy flows to B also. So what we have in MDR, we have the value which we got from main memory after the read signal. So that value we have in MDR. So the same copy flows into B. So R3, the referred by this one, this part is flows to B, and R1 part flows to A, and both are added. What we have is add instruction. Right. So if you have any doubts, so you can still ask me at this moment if you have any doubts in this part. If not, we will go to the next slide. Okay. So the same, if you have any doubts, you can go through all these steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, everything description given in this one, what happens in all these steps. Just now what I had explained, all these are written in these steps, multiple steps. We're done with this assignment part also. And another thing is branching. So till now what we had seen, the instruction is sequential instruction, where instructions are executed one after another. So if the instructions are in a sequence one after another, we already know in RISC one instruction takes one word. That is, one instruction is stored in one word. So when we want if it is a 32-bit word, and in a word instruction is stored, if first word address is 1000, second word address will be +4, third word address will be another +4, fourth word instruction will be, fourth word address will be another +4. So it's like, see, because They are remember they are sequential instructions. That's why when we say +4, we'll get next instruction address, and so on. We want next instruction address into PC. What we have done in the previous one, we taken the constant 4 and we added to the PC's address. So every time when we do +4, if it is a 32-bit, when we do +4, that is 4 means 4 bytes. That is 4 bytes means 32 bits. So every time when we do +4, we will get the address of next instruction. So it depends on the word size. If the word size is maybe 16-bit, we do is +2, because 16 bits 2 bytes. So when you say +2, we'll get the next instruction address. That's it. So remember, this is only in the sequential instructions. But we already know in a C programming, you already learned in your previous semester in C programming, we don't have only sequential instructions in a C program. We have other types of instruction like conditional and also loop instructions, or we can say branching instructions. There will be condition or maybe looping instructions also. Okay. So in sequential instructions, the statement by statement they will be executed. But do you remember what happens in the loop instruction? We have a while loop with, for example, with 5 statements. After 5th statement, for example, the 5 statements are sequential instructions within the while loop. So it executes one instruction after another instruction. First instruction, second, third, fourth, fifth. After fifth, what it will do? The while condition, it checks the while condition based on condition. If the condition is true, it again goes to at the top of the while loop. Again, it executes all the 5 instructions in a sequence because they are sequential instructions. How it executes all the state, how will fetches all these 5 instructions? By doing maybe +4 or +2 to the PC's address. Okay. After completing all the 5 instructions, again it checks the condition. If condition is true, again it gets to top and again it goes on executing. Okay, this happens. Okay, so we'll see. For example, in our while loop, I want to do is I want to add n values. For example, I have maybe 7 values, 7 integer numbers. The 7 integer numbers I want to add in a while loop. So the 7 we say elect n numbers we have. We have 7 numbers. So we say list of 7 numbers. The 7 numbers may be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 7 numbers. So I have list of 7 numbers and the task is to add all these 7 numbers. Okay. So how do I add this one? So first what I do is for the 7 numbers I will store in 7 variables. Num1 contains the first value 10. Num2 contains the value 20, num3 contains 30, maybe the last one num7 contains 70. Okay, so we already know when we store something in a variable, for example 10 is stored in num1, then means the 10 is stored in main memory, that is primary memory, or we can say RAM, in particular address referred by num1. Let me repeat once again. When we store 10 in num1 variable, it means num1 will be referring to main memory, or we can say primary memory or RAM with certain location. Okay, the location may be 1000 is the address where the value 10 is stored. That location is referred by num1. That location we can say simply num1 symbol of. Okay, right. So remember we have n numbers, and these all numbers we want to add 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus until 70. So that is the task we want to do. How do we do? So what we do is we add each number to the content inside R0. So what do we do? R0 first maybe we will set R0 to 0 starting. So we will take the first number which is in num1. That num1 we will add to R0. It becomes 10. So R0 now has 10. Next we take num2 which is 20. That 20 we will add to R0, which is R0 we already have 10. 10 plus 20, it becomes 30. Now R0 contains 30. Next we take num3, which is 30. 30 we will add to 30 in R0, it becomes 60. Next num4 we will add to R0 the value in R0. Next to num5 we add to the value in R0. num6 we will add to value in R0. num7 we add to value in R0. So at the end we have the result, the entire addition in R0 register that we will transfer, or we can say we will move to sum variable. Okay. So after all the numbers have been added, the result is placed in memory location sum. Right. Okay. How do we implement this one? If we can implement this one in two types. One we can implement in with the help of sequential instruction. Other one we can implement with a loop. So if you implement with sequential instruction, it is a tedious process. So you can see first we will look at the sequential instructions, how we'll add all these 7 numbers, the same process. How do we implement within a sequential using sequential instructions? So straight line program for adding n numbers. So sequential instruction, you can see this is the scenario. So add, first we will add maybe we don't have num1 here. So assume we have num1 also. num1 we will add to R0. Next to num2 we will add to R0. You can see add is the mnemonic we can say. So with the add instruction, we are adding the value in this one to R0. So num1, the value num1 will add to R0. num2 we will add to R0, num3 we will add to R0, num4, num5, num6 we will add to R0, and finally num1 we add to R0. And finally we move the entire addition result into, we move it to the value addition result into sum variable. So you can see we did not use here any looping instruction. They are just sequential instructions, one after another. For example, I want to add 1000 numbers. Ilanti enni undali? 1000 add instructions undali. Add num1, num2, num3, num4. Last is add num1000. 1000, all 1000 sequential instructions. And finally, this move statement. We need to keep move statement at the end of 1000 instructions. That will move the result of 1000 values, which is in R0, to sum. So we already know this is a tedious process because with 1000 numbers we want to add, we need to keep 1000 sequential numbers. So what is the other alternative? Other alternative is looping instruction. Other alternative is we will go to the looping instruction. Right. So looping instruction we already used in C language. You can see here we will see the looping instruction. This. So this is a looping concept where we don't go with the tedious process. This is a simple process wherein first we will take n variable. N consists of the number of values. That for example, in our example, 7 digits we want to add. So n is 7 here. We move that 7 number into R1 with the move command. The 7 number is stored in R1 now. R1 register. Next we clear the contents of R0. Whatever data in R0 we are wiping out, because so that we can add all the numbers one after another. We will take that number and we will add into R0. Okay. So we will do the addition here. How do we do the addition here? First we will decrement address of next number and add next number to R0. So each time what we do is we will take the value and we take that value. We take that value and we will add that value to the R0. And every time in the loop, this is a loop. And every time the loop, what we do is we decrement R1, because we already know R1 consists of the number of digits, that is 7. So first it is R1 is 7. When it is decremented, it becomes 6. Next 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and finally after 7 loops, or we can say 7 iterations, every time it checks the condition, and when R1 becomes 0, we can say it is less than 0, then this condition becomes false and we come out of the loop. So every time in the instruction, we already know in C language it is added. So the data, the values are fetched here in this part and added to R0. Every time the values are added in R0. And every time R1 is decremented. When R1 becomes 0 or equal to 0, then the loop terminates, and finally the result, the entire addition result, we copy from R0 to some variable. Okay. So one important thing is in sequential execution, we have instruction after instruction execution. How do you get instruction after instruction? By doing maybe +4 or +2 to the existing address. Address of this one may be 1000. When I do 1000 +4, I will get the address of next instruction. It's 1004. When I say again +4, 1008, then I will get another address of another instruction. And when I say +4 again, I will get the address of another instruction, maybe 1012. But thing is, after one iteration, I can't go 1000 +4 and I cannot go here, because if the condition is true, as we know in the looping is a looping execution, after executing last instruction, if the condition is true, again it need to go to the first instruction in the loop. Antena condition true avute em cheyale, ee loop tarvata next instruction ki povoddu. First instruction, loop lo na first instruction povali. Again, he will continue executing all the instructions within the loop. When the condition is true, again it will get to the first instruction. Avuna? And when the condition is false, then it will terminate the while loop. It gets into the next instruction immediately, which is following this loop. Okay, so important thing you need to remember here is, ఎప్పుడైతే కండిషన్ లూప్ లాస్ట్ లో చెక్ చేస్తుంది కదా, కండిషన్ ట్రూ అవుతే అది ఫస్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్కి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి వైల్కి కదా. ఆ ఫస్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ అడ్రస్ వి కాల్ హ్యాస్ బ్రాంచ్ టార్గెట్. అంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఫస్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఉండకపోవచ్చు, అది డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ద అవర్ కండిషన్. సో కండిషన్ ట్రూ అయినప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ ఎక్కడికి జంప్ కావాలి, నెక్స్ట్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అడ్రస్ ఏ అడ్రస్కి జంప్ చేయాలి అని చెప్పేసి we call that address as branch target. అదే సీక్వెన్షియల్ అయి ఉంటే there is no question, directly it will do +4 and it go to the next instruction. But thing is, last instruction కి వచ్చినప్పుడు loop లో మాత్రము it checks the condition is true, then where it will jump, that instructions address we call as branch target. That is important point of this entire topic concept. Idantha my explanation whatever I had told you, but important thing is the new address we call as branch target, where it need to jump after the while loop condition check. That new address we call as branch target. Adi important nenu cheppina 2 slides lo. Okay, అదే సీక్వెన్షియల్ అయితే మనకు ప్రాబ్లం లేదు, +4 చేస్తే వస్తుంది. బట్ లాస్ట్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ కి వైల్ లూప్ లో అలా కాదు, ఇట్ నీడ్ టు గో బ్యాక్. Right. Okay, so this is an example of a branch instruction. Mari address ela vastadandi, I said like I need to jump back and go to the first statement. Mari address ela vastadi, ee branch target address ela vastadi ante the address in the IR plus some offset. So actual address, the PC lo na address anukondi, address plus offset address, we get the branch target address. So you can choose down how we will get that one. So this is a sequence of instructions to generate the address that is the branch target address. Okay, so here you can see in the sequence of address what happens looking at this diagram. So the same diagram we used in the previous slides also. This is a repeated diagram we are using for to understand these instructions. So for the branch instructions, these are the set of instructions. ఇంతకుముందు మనం చూసిన instructions అన్ని కూడా sequential, but here too for the branch instruction generating the branch target address. So here as you can see PC out. So when you say PC out, that address in PC comes into this internal processor bus, the single bus we can say here it is available now, and the same copy is copied into B also. So the address from PC, it is available in here, and it flows to B also. It available in B also. Remember, the same address of PC available in B also. Next is read signal. We will do. The read means reading data from, we already know it is from main memory or primary memory or RAM. Example, RAM. So read signal. But read signal eppudu complete aitundi ante it takes some time. It is indicated by the completion of read signal is indicated by this control signal. We say memory function complete signal. This. Okay. But it complete cheyadaniki read signal complete kavadaniki certain time padtadi. Read ainaka the data will be stored in MDR register. We already know this one. But thing is, it the time padtundi kabatti, meanwhile what we do is we do this execution of these three and these three instructions. So what happens in here? What we say is select 4. What is select 4? We need to select out of these two. We need to select 4. So 4 is selected here. So the selected 4 by multiplexer is given as an input to the A. Okay. Right. So now A contains the 4 value, and B contains the value from PC out. Okay. So the PC address plus 4 are added. So we get the next instruction address, right? Address in PC plus 4. What we do? What we get? We get is next instruction address. That is we store in Z with a Z in. So when I say Z in, this PC plus 4 flows into a Z register. Again, what we do? Z out. So when we say Z out, the PC plus 4 value comes here. PC plus 4 means if PC address, PC value in PC is 1000, 1000 plus 4, it is 1004. So 1004 is available here. So that 1004 flows to PC only because PC in is enabled. Flows to PC and end. Sorry. Z out. So Z out ikkada. Which is some PC in anagane, the same flows to PC in, and also the same flows to Y in also. The same PC plus 4, it flows to PC, and also it flows to Y also because Y in is enabled. Idi manam ikkada middle chesam. So ikkada manamu read signal completes with this one. Indication of this indicated by completion indicated by WMFC signal. So read signal complete kangane, the value read from main memory, it is stored by default. We already know it is in MDR register, in this MDR register. So we use MDR out. So when you say MDR out, the data from say MDR flows to internal processor bus. Now it is available internal processor bus. Okay. So the same is given as input to the IR register by making in signal to 1. So the same data flows to IR register. That is the data from MDR flows to, because when we are doing MDR out, IR in. So when we say MDR out, the data flows to bus, and when we say IR in, data flows to IR register. Okay. So now data available in IR. So simply we can say what is data in MDR? It is the instruction read from main memory or primary memory. That instruction is copied into IR register instruction because it is instruction register, right? IR in. Next to offset field of IR out. So we already know in IR we have the instruction, right? So what this component will do is instruction decoder and control logic. It will extract the offset field from IR instruction. This way, how it extracts we'll see in the future topics. But at the moment, remember this IR from IR instruction. This unit, this component will extract offset field. Offset field. The offset field may be 30 or 40. Okay, that offset field it extracts. Okay, and the same. So the IR, when we say IR out, we are doing what we are doing IR out. So that offset field comes out here. So offset field comes out here. When we say IR offset field of IR out, offset field of IR comes out and it is available here, and it flows to B. So I kept an arrow here. The same is copied into B. The offset field of IR, which flows into internal processor bus, it flows to B. Okay. So B lo nemo manaku offset field from of this instruction undi B lo. Next, what we are doing? Select Y. So select Y means data from Y flows to that is multiplexer selects the data from Y, selects the Y, and it flows to A. Okay. So next is add. So these are both are added. A plus B are added, and they are given as input to the Z with Z in, and next is Z out and PCL. Z out, so data flows outside, and it's given as input to the PCL. Okay. So in branching, we can say to the address, this offset is added. To the address in PC, this offset is added to get the branch target address. So by adding this offset field of the instruction, we are getting branch target address, so that after executing all the instructions in the loop, the logic can jump to the branch target address, and that branch target address is generated by adding offset field to the address in PC. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me in this part. Doubts unte adagachama. సో అక్కడ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఇక్కడ మనం ఏంటంటే ఆఫ్సెట్ ఏమో ఇట్ ఈస్ గెట్టింగ్ ఇన్ టు బి, ఆఫ్సెట్ వాల్యూ ఇస్ ద సేమ్ ఇస్ కాపీడ్ ఇన్ టు బి, అంటే ఆఫ్సెట్ వాల్యూ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఈస్ కాపీడ్ ఇన్ టు బి. మరి ఏలోకి ఏమొస్తుంది అంటే ఏలోకి ఏమో వై నుంచి వాల్యూ వస్తుంది. బట్ వైలోకి ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది వాల్యూ అంటే ఇట్స్ ఏ PC +4 ప్లస్ దట్ ఆఫ్సెట్, ప్లస్ ఈ ఆఫ్సెట్ యాడ్ చేస్తాం. అట్ ద ఎండ్ we get is branch target address. సో ఈ అడిషన్ తర్వాత we get is branch target address. That will decide where it need to jump after executing all the instructions in the loop. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me at the moment. Subroutines we need to check once, so we'll deal it within the next class. Subroutine part. This one a simple topic choose down. Okay. So this multiple bus organization. Till now we had seen the diagram. You can see in the previous diagrams we had seen this. This is single bus organization. Ikkada enni buses unnai? Okate single bus unde. Processor has only one internal processor bus, we can say. Internal processor bus we have only one processor internal bus. So due to having only one processor internal bus, we can do maybe reading or writing one at a time. We cannot do parallel tasks because we have only one processor internal bus. At a time, one read can be done from here to here or maybe here to here. If we have multiple internal buses in this way, we can do things in parallel. Parallel reads can be happen. So this happens in this one, multiple bus organization. we saw we can multiple bus organization. You can see in multiple bus organization we have instead of single internal bus as in previous diagram, opposing to that one we have is multiple buses. How many buses we have? Bus A, bus B and bus C. We have 3 buses, whereas in previous one we have only one internal bus. So we have multiple buses. We will see what is the use of this having multiple bus. Okay, this is also important concept. So here you can see various components: incrementer, we have program counter PC, and special one we have is a register file. What is this register file? The general purpose registers are combined into a single block called register file. All the general purpose registers. Can anybody say what are the general purpose registers we have in processor?
R0, R1.
Yes, yes. So R0, R1 and until Rn, all this we call as general purpose register. They are combined to form a single block called register file. So when we say register file, it consists of all R0 to Rn registers. Okay, and again we have the constant for selection as usual in the previous diagram in single bus organization. And we have a mux means multiplexer, and it selects any one of this A or B using ALU. ALU does this one, and output of A and B, any of this one it will select, and it will do any of this selection. Multiplexer will do any of this selection, either this one or either constant 4. It selects. A multiplexer gives only one as an input, and on A and B, ALU will do operations like addition, subtraction, XOR operations it will do, and it gives the output. And other one we have is instruction decoder, instruction register, memory. We already know these two already in the previous one also. Memory data register, memory address register. So as it is address register, we have address lines. For data register, we have is data lines. Already we have these in the previous diagram also in single bus or architecture also. Okay. So we are the same thing is described here. This 3 bus structure connects the registers. Where we have registers in this register file, we have all these registers. Even we have these are also registers: PC, IR, MDR, MR. All these are registers. So this 3 bus structure connects the registers and ALU of the processor. So it connects the ALU and also all the registers. So it provides multiple internal buses, bus A, bus B, bus C, and it enables several transfers to take place in parallel. Because we have multiple buses, several data flows. Data may flow in this way to this bus or this one. So several transfers may take in parallel. So this reduces number of steps required. So the execution will be faster. So register file is said to have 3 ports. So this register file, where it contains all the R0 to Rn registers, it contains 3 ports. You can see. So one port here.
Excuse me, sir.
Amma. Yes, yes.
Sir, your screen is not being shared.
Not visible.
Not shared, sir.
Is it happened just now, or is it from how much time passed?
Just now, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay. Is it okay now? Ma?
Yes, sir.
No,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Yeah. It will be load slowly in some computers, depending on the speed. Okay. So a register file is said to have 3 ports. What is a register file? This one consists of R0 to Rn registers, and it has 3 ports: 1 port, 2nd port, and you can see 3rd port. So this is our input port to this register, and you can see 2 output ports. So 2 outputs can be moved outwards from the register file. So 2 outputs used to transfer contents of 2 different registers to buses A and B. You can see from the register file, from any 2 registers, 2 different registers, there may be R0 to Rn registers. So ఉన్న registers లో ఏదైనా 2 registers నుంచి డేటా ఇలా మూవ్ కావచ్చు. బస్ A కి మూవ్ కావచ్చు డేటా, బస్ B కి మూవ్ కావచ్చు. Okay. and maybe any third register, n registers ఏదైనా ఇంకొక register, it can take a input during the same clock cycle. సో ఉన్న మేబీ మనకు 16 రిజిస్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, దాంట్లో ఒక 2 రిజిస్టర్స్ ఏమో డేటాని అవుట్పుట్గా ఇవ్వచ్చు బస్ ఏ బస్ బికి, ఇంకొక రిజిస్టర్ ఏమో ఇట్ కెన్ టేక్ డేటా ఫ్రమ్ బస్ సి యాజ్ ఎ ఇన్పుట్. సో దట్స్ వై 1 input 2 outputs. Hope this is clear. So entirely this one happens in single clock cycle. So a clock cycle అనేది మనం ఫ్యూచర్ లో చూద్దాం what is a single clock cycle. So it's a at the moment, remember, it's a basic unit of measuring CPU speed, the number of clock cycles. So in one clock cycle, data can within a one clock cycle from 2 registers data can flow outside, and data can flow into one another register. Okay, so assignment for this week is this one. What is the role of bus A, bus B, and bus C in 3 buses style processor organization? The same thing. So the one we had discussed just now, this one is the, you need to describe role of these 3 buses in 3 bus style organization. Okay. Right. So we are done with this one. And ఇంకొకటి ఉందమ్మా, సబ్రోటీన్స్ అనేది పార్ట్ ఉంది. Can anybody say what is a subroutine? Subroutine, we can say simply you can say procedure, or you can say in C language you can say function అనుకోవచ్చు. Okay. Recording, okay, right. So when we say subroutine, it's something like a function in your C language. So in C language we have like a calling function and called function, correct? For example, main function is calling some other function. Main function is calling some other function. That function we call as a user defined function, correct? So for example, main function is calling maybe some other user defined function like add function. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్ there are 10 statements. In main function we have, that is in C program, main function we have 10 statements. 5th statement is calling some other user defined function like maybe add function. Remember, visualize yourself, we have a main function which consists of 10 statements, and 5th statement is a add function. We are calling a add function, which is a, we can say it is a user defined function or subroutine. So main function or add function ni call చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందో తెలుసా, the control jumps to add function, executes entire add function and gets back into main function. మరి జంపింగ్ ఎలా అవుతుంది అంటే, the address of it is maintained. సో మనకు సబ్రోటీన్ అడ్రస్ ఏముందో ఆ అడ్రస్ దగ్గరికి జంప్ అవుతుంది మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్ నుంచి. సో that we will how it jumps we will discuss in the next class, but at the moment remember, from main function the control can jump to a subroutine, or we can say user defined function, executes entire subroutine, and when we say return, then it jumps back to main function. Okay, so మళ్ళీ అది సబ్రోటీన్ నుంచి మళ్ళీ వెనక మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్ కి జంప్ కావాలంటే ఏం కావాలి, అది ఎక్కడ జంప్ కావాలో అడ్రస్ కూడా మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి. అంటే మనం సబ్రోటీన్ ఫంక్షన్ అడ్రస్ మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి, ప్లస్ సబ్రోటీన్ అంతా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయినాక, యూజర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఫంక్షన్ అంతా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయినాక మళ్ళీ ఎక్కడికి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ కావాలి, ఎక్కడికి జంప్ కావాలి ఆ అడ్రస్ కూడా మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, సో దిస్ వన్ we will see in a diagrammatical way in the next class. So at the moment, if you have any doubts, you can let me know, or else I will go with the attendance part. for this class, this is the assignment. And ఇంకొకటమ్మ important మీ అందరికి at the before the mid one, I already told you, but I'm repeating once again. Before the mid one, you need to write a 2-page summary on your research project as well as the patent. Research project 1, CRP 1, and also the patent CP, course research project and course patent 1. So these two you need to write on each one. You need to write 2-page summary and you need to submit before mid one. So we already know for the mid one you have hardly 2 weeks. అంటే ఈ వీక్ నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ అయిపోతే మనకు ఫస్ట్ మిడ్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో నెక్స్ట్ ఈ సండే కాకుండా నెక్స్ట్ సండే లోపల you need to submit these two as a assignment on research project 2-page summary and on patent 2-page summary. And if you have any doubts, you can message me, you can call me at any time. I will respond to your queries. Okay. So let me note the attendance. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So 61. So all of you note this question. Meanwhile, assignment question. A 96 is absent. Seven could absent. 107. 107. 15. చెప్పండి నాన్న. Roll number?
107 friends. 107.
Okay, fine. So 115, 96 absent.
Sir, present sir 96.
96 present. అంటే 115 ఒకటే.
Sir, 115 present, sir.
115.
Sir, 115 present.
115 present. ఓకే. మీరు ఎండింగ్ లో వచ్చారు కదా, అటెండీస్ లో ఉన్నారు. ఓకే, రైట్. ఓకే, డన్. సో ఎవ్రీవన్ ఇస్ ప్రెసెంట్. 15. Everyone is present. But how come it is 59 plus 60, 61? Okay, done. If you have any doubts, please stay back. No problem at any. The question may be at basic level. Please stay back and you can ask me. If you don't have any, you are clear with the concept, you can leave. Thank you all. So I will stay back for any queries.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.